All right.
You sure?
It's as good as it's going to get. I'll edit that out in post.
That's fine. Good evening, Throttle Up Biker Bible Study. How we doing tonight?
Good.
Cold.
Yeah.
My hands are freezing right now. Oh, it's not cold in here. Cold outside, but
Finger sickles.
yeah.
Little chilly. It's good.
But it was a beautiful day out there today.
Mm-hmm.
I missed most of it, but it was still a beautiful day.
I do too. I
We
had
got-
work. I missed all of it.
I slept.
I got guys here working, so that was nice. So if you notice as you leave, the big box elder in front of the little house is gone. 2 big bushes in the orchard are gone.
We saw the big dumpster looking thing.
The dumpster's back there. I was supposed to start filling it today. The kid here in that little house, the big house, is going to help me, but I can't lift my arms over my shoulders. Last night was too much for me, so I said we'll probably start tomorrow or the next day.
I didn't say you do anything like
No, you didn't, and you probably won't. But
that.
anyway,
This isn't one of those churches, Rose.
There's an Andy Griffith thing where Goober hurt his shoulder and he's staying at Andy Griffith's house. He's like, why do you keep trying to trick me to do my arms up here when you know I can't lift them over this? I can't do this.
yeah, buddy. So anyway, in here on Wednesday nights, we're still just putting along through 2 Kings. All right? Y'all ready to hit the next couple of chapters? Yeah,
Didn't we write about that in the book of the Chronicles?
Yeah, we'll get to the Chronicles and repeat some of this and all that stuff. So anyway, let me open us up in a word of prayer and we'll get into it. Heavenly Father, Lord God, again, we thank you for this nice warm place that you've given us to come and set, Lord, so we can hear your word. Father, just speak through these words and let us know what it is that we're supposed to understand. Clear our minds, open our hearts. Lord, let us hear your voice. And all the things that you do through here, we are just thankful for it in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Chapter 5, verse 1, right?
Healing of leprosy.
The healing of leprosy. Well, now, since we're talking about the healing, let's go back. Remember, we've seen Elisha already do 3 miracles, right? The bread and the kid,
The oil.
right? And the oil, right? So it's amazing. Not bread, the soup, the stone soup with the death vegetables in it, right?
What bad name? Death vegetable.
The Bible actually called them wild gourds, but
Yeah, but we're pretty sure in that area there is a wild gourd that is called it's a wild cucumber, but it's the shape of a melon, and they use it for medicine, but if you eat it, it makes you very, very sick. So that's what they were talking about, probably. And he threw a little flyer into it, Flour, not WER, right? And it's fine. That's a God thing right there. And then all that was good, but here in chapter 5, verse 1, here's what it starts saying, because this is the song of Deborah. Oh, I'm in the wrong book. I was like, Deborah? Deborah's been gone a long time. I was in Judges chapter 5, not 2 Kings chapter 5. There we go. Nahum, there we go. So Naaman, the commander of the army of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master and in high favor because by him the Lord had given victory to Syria. Remember, Syria and Israel are at war a lot in the Old Testament, right? Said he was a mighty man of valor. He's not the only one that has that title. We've seen that title many, many times, right? It says, but he was a leper. Now, some people would pronounce that leper, but, there's a little difference in the 2 words, right? A leper. Now, what is leprosy?
it's a bacterial infection.
Bacterial infection. So I read today about how it looks when it starts and when it progresses. Just little red bumps that all of a sudden get a white ring around it, and then they get bigger and they start to decay, and the center pits fall out, and your fingernails die, and your toenails pop off, and your hair falls out, and your teeth get exposed and fall out, and it just keeps going until your skin starts falling off. I mean, it's when you read the description of what all happens, it's disgusting. Well, here's the king of Syria, the commander for the king of Syria, with leprosy, right? Verse 2 then says, now the Syrians on one of their raids had carried off a little girl from the land of Israel, and she worked in the services of Naaman's wife. So when it says carried off from Israel, you understand what that means? They kidnapped that kid.
Oh, I just read as taken as a slave. Really.
Slave, that's right, enslaved her. 3 says, she said to her mistress, would that my Lord were with the prophet who is in Samaria. He would cure him of leprosy. Now who is she referring to? Elisha, right. So Naaman went in and told his Lord, thus and so spoke the girl from the land of Israel. And the king of Syria said, go now, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel. Hey, guy that we keep attacking, can you send us your prophet? I'm sure that went over pretty good, right? I mean, hey.
They sent some cash with it.
Yeah, a little gold, some Krugerrands, and something, right? I was watching Lethal Weapon 2 today. So.
I was wondering about that.
That Krugerrand, yep.
Yeah.
So he went, taking with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and just 10 changes of clothing. You know, what a list, right?
I know.
It's like milk, eggs, garden hose.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Absolutely, good point there. Says in 6, and he brought the letter to the king of Israel from Naaman, right? And which read, when this letter reaches you, know that I have sent to you Naaman, my servant, that you may cure him of leprosy. And when the king of Israel read the letter, he laughed. He made fun of him. No, look what it says. It says, he tore his clothes. Remember, they do that when they are distressed, when they're upset. This king of Syria is Syria, not Syria. It's not the Fruit Loop king. We ain't got to him yet. But the king of Syria sent him a letter, heal my servant. But look, it says, and said, am I God to kill and to make alive that this man sends word to me to cure a man of his leprosy? Only consider and see how he is seeking a quarrel with me. See, he's kind of like, you sent somebody for me to heal, but I think you're trying to do something in secretive, like you sent a spy in, right?
With money.
With money, yeah, and shekels and clothing. But when Elisha, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his clothes, he sent to the king saying, dude, what's up with that? Why have you torn your clothes? Let him come now to me, that he may know that there is a prophet in Israel. So Naaman came with his horses and chariots and stood at the door of Elisha's house. And Elisha sent a messenger to him, saying, go and wash in the Jordan 7 times. Ooh, there's that magic number again. Said, and your flesh shall be restored, and you shall be clean. Now, the fish will probably be scaly after that. Oh, never mind. Anyway, but Naaman was angry and went away, saying, behold, I thought he would surely come out to me and stand and call upon the name of the Lord his God and wave his hand over the place and cure the leper. Because that's what he does, right? He's a prophet of God. He can slap the water with his cloak and it will part like the Red Sea did. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that in your face. Anyway.
They want the signs and wonders on their terms.
On their terms, that's right. Don't we? No. Oh, Fred, stop. 12. Are not Abana and Fartar up on top of the hill, Farpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? Could I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. Well, that's not what he was told to do. He was told to go sit in the Jordan 7 times. No, it's not good enough for him. But this servant came near and said to him, My father, it is a great word that the prophet has spoken to you. Will you not do it? Has he actually said to you, wash and be clean? So he went down and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan according to the word of the man of God. And his flesh was restored like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. How many times have I said it? If, then, but God, right? If you do what he says, then he will do what he promises. But if you don't, he won't. So the man of God said, go wash 7 times and you will be clean. Okay, fine, I'll go do it. And what happened?
He was clean.
He was clean.
He had to have his little temper tantrum first. Just like the king had to have his little temper tantrum.
Just like we do.
Yeah.
Yeah?
All I could think of is those cheesy ads. Lotion companies hate this one simple trick.
15. Then he returned to the man of God, he and all his company, and he came and stood before him. And he said, Behold, I know that there is no God in all the earth but in Israel. So accept now a present from your servant. Okay, these guys worship Baal. Now he realizes that Baal ain't nothing. And the only God is Yahweh, right? But he said, As the Lord lives, before whom I stand, I will receive none. This is Elisha speaking back to him. I don't want any tribute from you, right? He says, and he urged him to take it, but he refused. Then Nahum said, If not, please let there be given to your servant 2 mules load of earth. For from now on your servant will not offer burnt offerings or sacrifice to any little g God, but the Lord. Capital letters, right? In this matter may the Lord pardon your servant when my master goes into the house of Rimmon to worship there, leaning on my arm, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon. When I bow myself in the house of Rimmon, when I bow myself in the house of Rimmon, the Lord pardon your servant in this matter. And he said, Go in peace.
Man, someone almost had to hit you. The record was skipping.
It was, man. It was. Somebody cleaned the needle. Anyway, anyway, so here we go. But when Naaman had gone from him a short distance, Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, See, my master has spared this Naaman the Syrian in not accepting from his hand what he brought. As the Lord lives, I will run after him and get something from him. Okay, what is this guy doing? What? He's like, you want to give something to Elisha and he won't take? I'll take it. I go get it. I got it. So Gehazi followed Naaman, and Naaman saw someone running after him. He got down from the chariot to meet him and said, Is all well? And he said, All is well. My master has sent me to say, there have just now come to me from the hill country of Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Remember them, the sons of the prophets? We had them in the last chapter. Said, please give them a talent of silver and 2 changes of clothes. Where did that come from? It's not from Elisha. It's from this guy, right? So then Naaman said, be pleased to accept 2 talents. And he urged him and tied up 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of clothing and laid them on 2 of his servants. And they carried them before Gehazi. And when he came to the hill, he took them from their hand and put them in the house. And he sent them away, and they departed. He went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said to him, "Hey, where you been, Gehazi?" And he said, "Your servant went nowhere." But he said to him, "Did not my heart go when the man turned from his chariot to meet you? Was it a time to accept money and garments, olive orchards and vineyards, sheep and oxen, male servants and female servants, and fishing rods and motorcycles? Therefore the leprosy of Naaman shall cling to you and your descendants forever." So he went from his presence, a leper like snow.
Whoa.
So, you want to do something outside of what God has told me to tell them to do? Then you shall suffer like they did for what they came to be cleansed of.
You can't change out of your own skin.
Nope.
You know, I'll give you something Ajax won't take off.
Yeah. Chapter 6. It says, "Now the sons of the prophets said to Elisha, 'See, the place where we dwell under your charge is too small for us. Let us go to the Jordan, and each of us get there a log, and let us make a place for us to dwell there.' And he answered, 'Go.' Then one of them said, 'Bleep, be pleased to go with your servants.' And he answered, 'I will go.' So he went with them, and then they came to the Jordan. They cut down trees. But as one was felling, fall over, right? A log, his axe head fell into the water, and he cried out, 'Alas, my master, it was borrowed.' Then the man of God said, 'Where did it fall?' And when he showed him the place, he cut off a stick and threw it in, and there made the iron float." Think about that. An axe head made of iron floating. Wow. And he said, "Take it up." So he reached his hand out and took it. And that
Miracle 6 now, I think.
something like that, and that's just a little short story. One of many, right? Watch this, and it's in verse 8. It says, "Once when the king of Syria was warring against Israel," remember, I just said that a minute ago, they always at war with Israel, "he took counsel with his servants, saying, 'At such and such a place shall be my camp.' But the man of God sent word to the king of Israel, 'Beware that you do not pass this place, for the Syrians are going down there.' And the king of Israel sent to the place about which the man of God told him. Thus he used to warn him, so that he saved himself there more than once or twice." So another little miracle. Hey, don't pass this street. You know, bypass Oliver Springs. Do what you got to do, right? So just kidding, Oliver Springs. Anyway, and the mind of the king of Syria was greatly troubled because of this thing, and he called his servants and said to them, Will you not show me who of us is for the king of Israel?" And one of his servants said, "None, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet who is in Israel, tells the king of Israel the words that you speak in your bedroom." He works for the CIA. He's got a bug in there on the table lampstand. Anyway, so it was told him, "Behold, he is in Dothan," down in Alabama, right? Just across the line, right?
Yep.
Says, "So he sent there horses and chariots and a great army, and they came by night and surrounded the city of Dothan. When the servant of the man of God rose early in the morning and went out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was all around the city. And the servant said, 'Alas, my master, what shall we do?' And he said, do not be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Twice this past week I heard this statement, and now that I'm reading it here, it sets in again. When Lucifer fell, how many angels did he take with him?
1/3.
So how many did that leave?
2/3.
Which is twice the number that he took with him.
Right.
Here it is. Do we not have twice the number of men with us, right? Then Elisha prayed and said, "O Lord, please open his eyes that he may see." So the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire. We saw that not long ago, right? Mm-hmm. And said, all around Elisha. And when the Syrians came down against him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, "Please strike this people with blindness." So he struck them with blindness in accordance with the prayer of Elisha. And Elisha said to them, "This is not the way, and this is not the city. Follow me, and I will bring you to the man whom you seek." And he led them to Samaria. Remember, Samaritans and Israelites do not get along. They don't. Because of the wars over Jacob's well, right? And all that stuff that happened way back, right? It says, as soon as they entered Samaria, Elisha said, "O Lord, open the eyes of these men that they may see." So the Lord opened their eyes, and they saw, and behold, they were in the midst of Samaria. And as soon as the king of Israel saw them, he said to Elisha, "My father, shall I strike them down? Shall I strike them down? Shall I strike them down?" And he answered them, "You shall not strike them down. Would you strike down those whom you have taken captive with your sword and with your bow? Setting bread and water before them, that they may eat and drink and go to their master." So he prepared for them a great feast. And when they had eaten and drunk, he sent them away, and they went to their master. And the Syrians did not come again on raids into the land of Israel. Think about that for a minute. They could have destroyed them very easily. But instead they said, feed them, give them water to drink, for God's sake, put their clothes back on, and send them back to their master. And they went back, and the master said, "Hey, they treated us good. We're not going to attack them anymore."
Well, I think part of it too is the whole army probably would have rose up and be like, "No, we're not going back there. They don't wish us any ill will." Regardless.
Not to mention, they know that he can strike them blind at any moment he chooses.
Yeah, you
So
notice that.
There's a little fear factor in addition to beholden to them for not killing them.
Yeah, true that. Good
He's
point.
like, who keeps betraying me and telling them where we're going to be?
Yeah. God,
Prophet.
Yahweh, tells Elisha. 24 says, after Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, mustered his entire army. Do they ever catch up their whole army or mayonnaise their whole? No, they always just muster. Anyway, so they mustered his entire army and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine in Samaria as they besieged it, until a donkey's head was sold for 80 shekels of silver, and a fourth part of a cab of doves. Dove's dung. Sorry, I was like, that's not what that says, but it is. Dove's dung for 5 shekels of silver. Side note, I have read one of the saddest stories today. The lady that owns the farm right next to me up on the mountain had a mini donkey stolen Friday night. And it's the cutest little thing. It looks like a half donkey, half llama. Big bushy hair right here over its eyes, and then somebody stole it. That's bad. Now, as the king of Israel was passing by on the wall, a woman cried out to him, saying, "Help, my lord, O king!" And he said, "If the Lord will not help you, how shall I help you?" from the threshing floor or from the winepress? And the king asked her, what is your trouble? And she answered, this woman said to me, give your son that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow.
Pretty desperate, ain't it?
What's the word I'm looking for? A little
Gross.
cannibalistic?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we boiled my son and we ate him. Ugh. And the next day I said to her, now give your son that we may eat him. But she said, she has hidden his son, her son. And when the king heard the words of the woman, he tore his clothes. Now he was passing by on the wall with torn clothes. Just keeping it in the story there. And the people looked and said, and beheld, he had sackcloth beneath on his body. Did he know he was going to tear his clothes and wore some underwear? Mm-hmm. And
some burlap.
some burlap. Oh, nice itchy burlap. Oh, that feels so good on your body. Anyway, have you ever worn burlap shirts? I did as a kid. I did. It's not fun. It's not fun. My granny made them for me. She was so sweet. Anyway. And he said, may God do so to me, and more also, if the... Wait a minute. We've read this before. Listen to what it says. My God to do so to me, and more also, if the head of Elisha, the son of Shaphat, remains on his shoulder today. Do you remember not long ago Jezebel said that? She said, if the same is not done by tomorrow to you, then let it be done to me. Right?
Seems like a jump there. I mean, we're talking about the baby that got boiled and the baby that didn't get boiled, and now they're fussing about Elisha. Where's the end of the baby story?
I think they're blaming Elisha for the famine.
Yeah. Now, here's the worldly view about some of this, is that this story is not in chronological order because he keeps jumping back and forth. But we know when the famine actually happened and why it happened, because it was somebody did something against God's will, right?
Okay.
So that gives you a time reference, but then it jumps back and forth. That's why it sounds like we've read it before, because we have. And we'll read it again when we get to the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. And he said, my God, do so to me, if his head remains on his shoulders today. Elisha was sitting in his house, and the elders were sitting with him. Now the king had dispatched a man from his presence, but before the messenger arrived, Elisha said to the elders, do you see how this murderer has sent to take off my head? Look, when the messenger comes, shut the door and hold the door fast against him. Is not the sound of his master's feet behind him? And while he was still speaking with them, the messenger came down to him and said, this trouble is from the Lord. Why should I wait for the Lord any longer? Do we know why we should always wait for the Lord? The Bible tells us to.
Yeah.
Be still and wait upon the Lord. That's all I had. That's 2 chapters in a hurry. But how many stories were in that?
Oh.
So we're still reading about Elisha,
Elisha.
right. Well, then he's going to promise food because of that famine. And then he's going to make good on his promises, and people are going to trust him again. And then they're going to not trust him again. It's just it's a back and forth battle with these people, right? Always. Always, always, always.
Well, I think we see that with human relations too. I mean, I've certainly had some friends that were there when the going was good, not there when the going was bad.
Oh no. Oh no.
But they're right back again when the going's good again.
Oh yeah.
I think we've all seen that.
Yeah, especially when you have money.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing how many friends you lose when you're out of money. That's the truth right there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I expected that to last about another 15 minutes, but we're okay. We good with that?
Probably reading a little faster. You know, you're nervous. You haven't done this in a while.
Yeah, no kidding. It's been, what, a whole week?
I didn't interrupt as much as I usually do.
I didn't even notice.
It's all my fault.
Oh. Well, that's okay. You can take over next week. So anyway.
I'll try to be prepared for interruptions.
Prepared for interruptions.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and turn the camera off and do our personal private prayer request. I do want to say on camera for when he does post this, thank you, Ian, for everything you're doing. Thank you guys for the help, especially today trying to get the network working. I'll work on the other end of the cable and we'll have it done hopefully by Sunday. All right? Otherwise, we shall see you guys next time you see me.
Someday.
Someday.